Hello everyone, I'm here with Angela Bergoglio, and I met Angela at the Moat, and I was really excited because I was invited to go there, and when I get there I get to meet this wonderful person who is a volunteer at the Moat.
Yes.
And the Moat is?
Moat is a marine biology research center. It's an animal hospital and it's an aquarium. The aquarium supports all the research we do, but that's our main focus is marine biology research. We have 35 PhDs studying all around the world.
And I was standing next to a tank of horseshoe crabs, and she filled me in about everything there is to know about horseshoe crabs. I was so impressed by her ability to tell me all this stuff, and I was leaving a lot more educated than when I first got there, that's for sure. Angela, I asked about her story, and it's a remarkable story, and I asked if I could interview her, and she gladly said yes, and I was so thrilled. And so I would like to introduce you to Angela. And Angela, could you tell me a little bit about, first of all, I'm writing a book about challenging your fears and living the life you choose to live. And you had talked about how life itself is a choice. And I would like you to go into more detail about that.
Well, the funny thing was how we met, because you felt I had a background in marine biology because of what I was teaching you, and it was the furthest thing from it. And I told you that I didn't even like fish when I went there. I forced myself out of my comfort zone to learn about fish, and I was greatly rewarded with all of the knowledge and everything that I received from Moat, including meeting wonderful people. And that's when I think we started talking more about personal challenges and how overcoming them, how you do that. And I've been in this wheelchair for almost 19 years. I thought I had the flu, and I woke up 10 days later with no legs. I had been in a coma for 10 days with a fever of 107 as a result of bacterial meningitis. It's a very rare disease, and it's very rare to survive it. So I'm very lucky. I've had a very difficult path without a lot of family support through this journey. And what I've learned, though, that every day on this journey is a choice, and why I can have a positive attitude, why I can maintain my independence, I do everything for myself, is because I make that choice every day. And we all have that ability to make that choice. Whatever your obstacles are, whether they're big ones or small ones, it's still an obstacle to you, but it's still the same option of choice. Whether you break a fingernail and decide to make that the worst day possible, or you wake up with no legs and decide to make that the worst day possible, the choice, how you handle it, is the same. So I choose every day to learn from my obstacles, to try and overcome them myself. It gives me a sense of independence, a sense of dignity. When I was first in the chair, I realized I needed to figure these things out. I asked a friend for a glass of water, and she was busy, and it took her 3 hours to bring me a glass of water. And I realized that if that was going to be the quality of my life for such minor things, I wasn't expecting to go walking on the beach, I wasn't expecting to go dancing, but I had an expectation of being able to get my own glass of water, feed myself, take care of myself. I couldn't foresee a future being reliant on other people. There was a time I was eating walnuts off the ground. I had no one to take me to get groceries, and I had to make a choice whether I was going to continue with this struggle, how I was going to overcome it, and how I could fix all of this for myself. And it's wonderful to have support and people around you, but they're not always there. And I also learned the bottom line is when you close your eyes at night, you're by yourself inside your head. And no matter who's next to you or what material objects are surrounding you, if you're not comfortable with who's inside your head and you can't handle your own life, then it doesn't matter when you open your eyes what's around you. You have to be able to have your life in a comfortable place every day and have the ability to figure things out. I look at the obstacles as they keep bombarding me every day as an opportunity to learn. And I do believe when you lose, don't lose the lesson. And that basically sustains me when I'm being challenged. And being challenged can mean just needing to go get a gallon of milk and find a place to park, or being in a store and needing to use a restroom. Those are major challenges, and they're the smallest things in life that I need to make my life content. And it's the rest of the world that needs to understand that what they take for granted, going to the bathroom, parking their car, getting a glass of water, those are privileges. And nobody appreciates such small privileges.
I know there's oftentimes I have never, I can't say never, but that I've taken those for granted myself, and then I'm reminded that, wow, life is so precious, and that we take a lot of it for granted, that just the basic simple things. And you were talking about when people saw you in this without legs for the first time, and what that was like.
It's horrible. People don't realize what it's like to, and the worst thing was, once I was comfortable with my own disability, that I couldn't change this, that I couldn't wake up one day and my legs were going to grow back. I had to accept all that. But the hardest part was, every time I went out in public, I was meeting new people, and they don't realize the effect that the staring in their eyeballs. Every eyeball feels like someone is burning a cigarette butt in your skin and putting it out in your arm. I went home one day from the mall feeling like I was covered in third-degree burns, because I had never been stared at so much, to the point where people stop right in front of you just to take a better look, where if I wasn't looking, I would have rolled them over. And it's demeaning, it's heartbreaking, it's intrusive, and it takes a long time to realize it's not that there's something wrong with me. This is all about them. And maybe seeing a young woman in a wheelchair makes them question their own mortality, or for whatever reason they can justify that behavior. But it takes a lot. It takes really thick skin to get over that. And first few times, no, I didn't want to go out again and get a gallon of milk. And then I had to decide, am I going to let the rest of the world take that away from me? Am I going to lay here without milk for my coffee, without these basic needs and privileges of life, because other people have issues because I look different? So it's really having those conversations with yourself and having the strength to listen to your own words. Because again, once I go out that door, the moving target is back on me. And I have seen the belly of the beast in cruelty and humanity, and I have seen the glorious kindness of strangers that I would never imagine. So it's really always going to be a swinging pendulum like that. I don't expect the world ever to be in the middle where it's comfortable for me or anyone else like me, but I think that any disabled person deserves that, and especially these young kids that are coming home, these young veterans that have sacrificed their lives and their bodies. They deserve a lot more respect than we give disabled people.
Yeah, and I want to say that the statement that you made about the cigarette butts and the eyes, I was one of those people, and I'm just going to say I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I understand that. I completely understand that. We all look at something that's different. But it's having, okay, you're looking, you acknowledge something different, but move on. Don't stare long enough to bore a hole in someone.
Right.
Realize that it's very intrusive. And that's the hard part. Whereas people think they are entitled to stare.
Yeah.
And that it's okay for that. So that's where, that's the message, is it's not okay. And put yourself in my situation. Would you like it if I stood in front of you and just stared at you for 5 minutes, stopping you from doing whatever you're supposed to be doing?
Angela, thank you so much. I so appreciate your time and your patience, and I found a new friend. I really have enjoyed getting to know you.
Well, you're one of the gifts I'm talking about. You're one of the gifts. A kind person, an interested person, a compassionate person like you. One of you makes up for 1,000 people burning me with a cigarette butt. So thank you.